Stories and Tales channel. My name, as usual, is Miss Mimi, and I'm here with a couple of friends. This is Barry, and this is Doggy. Say hi to the kids. Hi! Okay, today we are going to be listening to a fairy tale. Yes, what's a fairy tale, you guys? A fairy tale is an old story that has been told from generation to generation to generation. That means your grandma's grandma told your grandma that story. Your grandma's grandma's grandma told your grandma's grandma that story. And then your grandma told your mom, and your mom told you. And well, someone thought of putting all those fairy tales in a book. And so we have this book titled A Treasury of Fairy Tales. Sometimes fairy tales teach us things, but at other times, not so much. They just tell us about things, animals, people, and things that probably could not happen in real life. But I do love fairy tales because you have some cute pictures in it and you have some cute characters too. So shall we dive in? Treasury of Fairy Tales. So I'm reading the particular fairy tale I'm reading. You know what? Do you want to tell me the fairy tales you know? In the comments. I know Cinderella. That's a fairy tale passed down from ages to ages. Rapunzel is a fairy tale. Sleeping Beauty is a fairy tale. So see, there are lots and lots of fairy tales. Those are the kind of stories I'm talking about. But today I'm going to read one fairy tale that's not quite popular, but it's amazing. I do love it. It's titled 12 Dancing Princesses. Wow, I'm excited. Once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, there lived a king with 12 daughters. 12 is a big number. How many fingers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you want to count 12, we'll have to maybe add our toes. Okay, so once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, there lived a king with 12 daughters. To say that having 12 daughters was a handful would be unfair to the king, for it was far more than that. The king was a very protective father, and he worried about his little princesses. Also, he did not always understand their ways. This was especially true since the death of his dear and lovely wife many long years ago. Each night, the king carefully locked the door to his daughter's bedroom. Yet, each morning, he found the princesses tired and out of sorts. I wonder what happened. Because I guess when you go to bed at night, you should wake up strong and energetic. But the princesses wake up tired and sleepy. So the king got worried and puzzled. What's going on? You know, especially since he would find their new pairs of silk dancing slippers worn to shreds. When the king asked his daughters about this, they would laugh and say, "Don't be silly, father. We go to sleep each night and sleep soundly until the morning." But the king was not convinced. He decided to offer a reward to any man from his kingdom who could solve this mystery. The next day, one of the king's subjects, a man called Rolling, was out walking in the countryside. He was a poor but clever man, and he likes to walk and think. One day, Rolling had stopped to eat his modest lunch when a strange little woman came hobbling by. "Good day," said Rolling, standing to greet her. "Would you care for some lunch?" "Thank you," said the old woman. "You are very kind to share with me when you have so little." In return, she gave him a cloak that could make him invisible. "Take it to the castle and claim the king's reward." Thanking the old woman, Rolling set off for the castle. When he arrived, the king was eager to see if this young man would succeed in solving the mystery. Well, when Raleigh met the princesses, they offered him a goblet of wine. "Thank you," said Raleigh, but he was suspicious that it contained a sleeping potion. When the princesses turned away, Raleigh poured it beneath the table. Raleigh pretended to yawn. He was then shown to his bed, where he pretended to fall into a deep and dreamless sleep. "It's safe now," said the eldest princess. "We have made sure he will sleep through the night." With that, she tapped 3 times on a bedpost. 1, 2, 3, revealing a secret staircase. The princesses were in a flurry as they put on their best ball dresses and prepared to leave the castle. Ooh, I wonder where they're going. After preparing for their escape, the 12 princesses ran down the winding stairs. Raleigh, wearing his cloak, followed. He stepped upon the youngest princess's gown. She was startled but could not see anyone. When she turned around, at the bottom of the stairs was an enchanted forest. The trees had branches of gold, silver, and glittering diamonds. 12 princes met the princesses and guided them to gondolas. Then they rode across a lake to a beautiful castle on a hill. Wearing his invisible cloak, Raleigh sneaked onto one of the boats. The prince who was rowing one of the boats thought that it seemed a lot heavier than usual. They soon arrived at the castle, and the princesses gingerly stepped off the gondolas. The 12 princesses and the 12 princes walked arm in arm into a grand ballroom within the castle. Can you see them? Princesses. I guess a gondola is a kind of boat. Oopsie. The page doesn't want to open. Okay. Raleigh crept softly behind them, marveling at all that he saw in this grand and beautiful ballroom. Lyrical music seemed to float from the ceiling. Clusters of candles hung in the air, casting a warm and magical glow. Can you see the glow? Can you see the people? The princes and princesses began to dance splendidly around the enchanted candlelit ballroom. Raleigh watched enthralled as each pair seemed to move even more gracefully than the next couple. The pairs danced for hours, pausing only to sip punch from goblets. Wow, that's a lot of dancing. Then, finally, the princes escorted the 12 princesses back to the secret staircase in the castle. Fortunately, the 12 princesses were tired from their evening of dancing, so they walked slowly. Raleigh was able to hurry ahead of them and slip back into his bed before they returned. The youngest princess picked in on him. "Our handsome guest is sleeping as though he has lived 1,000 lives," she told her sisters. With that, the princes removed their tattered dancing slippers and placed them in a row. Then they climbed into their own beds and fell asleep. The next morning, Raleigh crept out of bed to seek out the king and reveal his discovery. "Your Majesty," said Raleigh, "I have solved your riddle. It seems that your lovely daughters wear out their slippers by dancing late into the night." And he told the king all that he knew. The king listened intently. "Can you produce proof of this?" he asked. Rollin presented a gleaming golden goblet that was beautifully engraved. "This, your majesty. This is a goblet from the castle. I ask you to put your lips to it." The king raised the goblet to his lips, and it instantly filled with punch. "How is this possible?" the king asked. "The goblet is enchanted." Everyone hold your goblets, okay? We're coming. Rollin then produced more evidence for the king when he laid out 3 branches. One had leaves of gold, one had leaves of silver, and the last branch had leaves of glittering diamonds. "These are from the forest near the castle," Rollin explained. "But the greatest proof of my tale must come from your own beautiful daughters." The princesses who were listening at the door confirmed what he had said to their father. The king was pleased that Rollin had solved the mystery, and he said to Rollin, "I owe you a great reward." And so, the king asked Rollin what he wanted. And Rollin said he wanted some gold. And thus, Rollin became a rich man rather than a poor, wise man. The end. Wow, I kind of tweaked the ending a bit there, but I won't tell you what the original ending is. This ending is much better. That's the end of our story today. Well, do we have a moral of the story? Let's think about it. What would you say? What lesson would you say you learned from this story? I did learn that apparently in the land of fairy tales, there's something called the invisible cloak. So, fairy tales, kids, fairy tales, not in the real world. But I did learn that, well, I think you should always tell the truth. Why did the princesses have to lie to their dad that nothing was happening at night when actually they were going out, So if you can think of any other lessons to learn from this story, please share in the comment section. But I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share. And remember, my name is Miss Mimi.